Failure isn't fatal. And sometimes the roller coaster throws us a corkscrew to make sure that we're strapped in for all the best parts that are to come. That was this summer. That was the past. And sometimes it's okay to admit that the best intended plans don't always go as we intend. Let's pivot. Hey there everybody, you know me as Jenna O'Malley, your soul writer. I'm also the author of The Myrna Annals, a dark, paranormal, romantic, fantasy romance with epic elements. It's a lot of things. It's Jenna watched way too much of one thing, and I know that I've got a lot of work ahead of me to really make someone who's been living in my head for a very long time shine like the queen she really is. I learned a lot of lessons this summer. Given the things that are happening on certain platforms that a lot of us are considering leaving and restructuring our business over, amid the midst of all that going on, my Kickstarter also did not fund. I learned what I needed to learn from both situations. And now I know it's time to pivot. It's time to polish it. It's time to really do what is meant to be done. I'm not the kind of person who handles failure well, and never really have been. I'm a Virgo. That somehow explains all of it. But at the same time, I was not a straight A student in school, mostly, depending on the content area. I flunked math is what I'm trying to say. And moo. Even though I know what failure is, what it looks like, what it feels like, we need that review quiz from life. I do not like giving pop quizzes as a teacher life. I see you're waiting for my open-ended response. So, with the Kickstarter failing, I'm really reorganizing some of my goals in my business. A little while ago, all of the people who are epic on this channel that went over to my community post tab poll and went ahead and voted. You all asked, how do you scaffold goals? I'm going to come at it from a pedagogical way that they teach teachers how to write goals. So that way you can understand, how do I plan for 9 months and make it actionable a little bit. And this is something that a lot of teachers do in a general education classroom, but more so in a classroom for people who have multiple needs outside of a gen ed classroom. So you're going to see a lot of neurodivergent, author-friendly tips and tricks coming up in that video, as far as like different ways you can scaffold out and support them. Now, that term's a little outdated in education, but I like it because it gives you a visual. If you think of somebody painting a mural on the side of a building, the platforms, the scaffolding they use to go from the bottom to the top to do the painting, that's the way I like to visually look at it. This is where a lot of people are like, oh, that sounds like a Gantt chart or a timeline. Yes, you can go that way. You don't have to, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But failure itself was something I had to sit with. Again, I was presented with an option to quit. Again, I was presented with the option of, here's your exit ticket from this business. And everyone would probably say, yeah, after that failure, we would understand why you gave up. And then a certain somebody, thank you, Cody, asked me the same question that always gets asked. Hello, channel mascot. Voluntary position that she has taken on. It's like she knows I'm recording because the ring light's out. Anyway, Will you regret it? Will you regret it if you give up? Will you be mad at yourself if you give up? Yeah. Let's get real. Jenna would not be happy if she gave up. It's one of those things of, do you walk away from the greatest concert that's about to happen ever in front of you just because one part of the show went wrong? Probably not. Hi, Mill. Is kind of how I equated it for people who like to go to rock festivals, rock concerts, or just music concert festivals in general, where they have multiple sets. It can start off bad. Same thing with a Ren Fair. Going to the Ren Fair can start bad, but end up way better if you take the time to pause and allows a pivot to happen, right? So that's what the last couple of weeks have largely been about. I will admit, while I was away from the camera and largely outside of a couple of client needs here and there, largely just kind of pulled back from everybody, I really had to ask myself, what matters? What's my why? Do I want to keep doing this? And when I was shopping yesterday for some odd and end grocery things at Ollie's, cleaning supplies, non-perishables and whatnot, there was a sign that was on the way out that I couldn't pass up. And it's hanging in my streaming space now, just as a reminder that the little girl in me was given multiple reasons to shut up. And I know a lot of people kind of wish I would. If you're of that persuasion, why are you watching my channel? I don't need an answer. That's for you to solve on your own and deal with accordingly as a mature adult. Just saying. I also had to contend with the fact that a lot of what I say to myself, it's self-sabotaging, and therefore all the more reason I need to this time yet again say, I don't want to be mad at myself because I gave up or put it on pause again. Because a lot of people have asked me that as well. Maybe it's just not your time yet. Maybe you should disappear into the ethers for a little while and try something else. And I'm just like, that's not me. There has to be a way to make this work. And I have yet to try every combination that I could exhaust before I should say I'm done. So to the people who are continuing to follow along, thank you. Thank you for being here. I want you to be here because you're showing up for you. I preach resiliency, but at the core of it, sometimes the resiliency is because for the first time in our lives, we're doing something for us for once. It boils down to something my parents negatively pounded into my head again and again and again and again as a child. Well, if you don't clean up the mess, nobody else is going to, so go clean up the mess. Let me just put a positive spin on that. I made this mess this time, and I know there's a way to clean it up. So it's time for me to parent me and definitely make sure I'm doing what's right. There was a video that I filmed as an alternate to my reintroduction to your soul writer vlog that I put out earlier this month. And there was a key component of that one that didn't get posted that I probably should still say. I owe a lot of people apologies. I understand the change behavior needs to come with. So to those people who definitely are here to stay, thank you. Thank you for seeing that I was in a growing season. Thank you to the couple of you who have reached out recently and expressed your support. I literally have every reason to give up right now. I'm choosing a different kind of heart. I'm choosing to look at the lessons and say, okay, this pop quiz is going to come up again. I want to make sure I learned the lessons this time. And the more I come at failure from, it's okay for me to try this again, the easier it actually gets to not let failure trip me up at all. Failure is indeed the tuition we pay for success, so long as we're learning. School season's open. I'm filming this on technically an 8/8/8 day, 8/17/2024. If you do some math, 17 is 8, 2024 is 8, for a reason. And it's approximately around 8 o'clock. What are you doing to take care of you? And sometimes, what projects are you prioritizing over others? Because you need to take care of you. Thank you for the last 3-4 years that I've been here, of support, of kindness, and more importantly, teaching me it's okay to stumble so long as I'm making progress. Until the next time, I hope I catch you taking care of yourself a little bit better each and every day.